Good evening, guys. How y'all doing on this Tuesday night? It's only Tuesday, as I tend to say on a lot of Tuesdays anymore, but, it is what it is. But this is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am here live for my live review of this week's edition of Monday Night Raw, the February 1st, 2021. Yes, we are already 1 month done with 2021. Time just goes by fast, guys. Can't help it anymore. But we are live for my live review of Monday Night Raw again, the February 1st, 2021 edition. Once again, took place at the WWE ThunderDome at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Once again, home of the 2020 American League pennant winners, Tampa Bay Rays, and who just re-signed Chris Archer. So the Pirates trade for Chris Archer for Austin Meadows, and Tyler Glasnow throw out the window, completely wiped out, and look at that. The Rays got back one of their better pitchers. You didn't have best luck with us. But it was a good gamble. But anyways, we're here to talk about baseball. We're here to talk about Raw, the Fallout show from the Royal Rumble, and we're now 67 days, I believe it is, away from WrestleMania 37. And of course, we have the fall from the Rumble matches again, as Edge was on this show tonight as he won the men's Royal Rumble match. And overall, personally, I gotta say, this was a better Raw. Still wasn't that great. It was not. I thought it was decent. There was some stuff to me that kind of clicked. Some things I was just like, what the hell? Like, some things that are just starting to really get overdone, especially the stuff with Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton. That's starting to get a little repetitive, overdone. Some stuff that, like, it was one of those shows where it's like, it wasn't an insulting show, but it had some stuff it's like, this is whatever, or it was a good try, but didn't quite work. It's like one of those things where it's like, most of the stuff was fine, but it could have been better. It was one of those shows, if you know what I mean. Again, just my opinion, but I thought it was one of the better shows we've had for a while. And actually, I didn't fall asleep till like the last 5 minutes of the show. I missed the finish of the main event, but I watched it, before I went live today. And also, I finished my NXT TakeOver 33 card predictions. And I will also, after this episode, be pre-recording a little, again, as I said before, I'm going to be getting a lot of, topic videos and special streams knocked out in the month of February. Again, I'm taking a break from my video game Let's Plays and trying to get some other things taken care of before I get to the next Let's Play. And again, I will be doing a special topic video pre-recorded that I will upload tonight after I do this stream. And it kind of already was spoiled a little bit whenever I did a poll recently on basically a certain opponent for a certain part-timer that I'm actually intrigued to see if he does wrestle WrestleMania this year. But we'll talk about that, of course, when we get to that video. For now, though, let's talk about Raw. And first, check the live chat. And also, if you did not get to, make sure to check out the just uploaded NXT TakeOver 33 card predictions. And of course, if you want to see them for the heck of it, check out my Rumble my Rumble reactions to the women's and men's match with my good friends Joe Miller, Stone Cold Steve Austin stand-up, and also virtually Daniel Garza. And again, just check out all the stuff from the Rumble. Anyways, live chat. Who do we got here? We've got Mark. What's up, Mark? Pretty good yourself. He thought Raw sucked. Why are they teaming Naomi and Lana? It's definitely ready. What happened to the Hardy Bros? Well, either way, I still thought the Hardy Bros was just a random thrown together tag team that I just did not care about. What we got from Raw tonight with Jeff Hardy and his partner was a nice little treat. That was the thing we had. We had a couple of nice little treats on this episode of Raw. Tyler skipped Raw. It looks like we're going to be seeing Rhea Ripley on SmackDown, which I'm a little head scratching about that one. I'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, that one, I'm a little bit of head scratching on that one. Mark thought the only good thing was Edge, and he also said he knew Sheamus was going to turn on Drew, because when you are the champion, you can't trust anybody. Definitely. Charlotte leaving Asuka, completely stupid. Tyler's saying Edge and Drew should be at WrestleMania 37. And also he said, why is Lana still here? I'm still wondering that myself. But let's talk about the show and roll into it and see what we got here. So we open up the show with the champ himself, Drew McIntyre, coming out. Makes his entrance. He welcomes us to the show and says this is no ordinary episode because we're now unofficially on the road to WrestleMania. Pointing the sign as everybody else does. He puts the finer points of the Royal Rumble over and says he and Goldberg earned each other's respect. And then we're about to talk about the Men's Rumble when out comes, of course, the winner of the 2021 Men's Royal Rumble from number one spot, Edge. Edge comes out. And Drew puts him over as a friend, a mentor, and remembers how terrible the day of Edge's retirement was. And he talks about how it blew his mind while he's getting choked in the corner by AJ Styles, that Edge was returned at the Rumble last year. He's proud of him, and Edge appreciates the compliments. But then Edge asks him, Drew, what's wrong with you? Take this a little bit more seriously. Edge, won the Rumble last night. And now he has the right to challenge him for the title. But Drew's just welcoming him with open arms and putting him over? No, that's not how you do it, man. And McIntyre's like, this is the kind of champion I am. I'm no opportunist. But Edge says he certainly isn't. Then out comes Sheamus, Drew McIntyre's best friend of 15, 20 years. And Sheamus is not happy because Edge is questioning his good pal Drew McIntyre's methods. How dare you insult my friend? How dare you question him? So, he puts over Drew about how well he's carried the company through uncharted waters, while Edge sat at home nursing his little tricep. Drew says, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I got this. And then he asks Edge if he's going to make his decision or if he'll have to make it for him, basically. Push Drew to fight him. Push McIntyre. Drew to push Edge to fight him at WrestleMania. Because they're playing the story now where Drew may pick, a different champion. Again, he's going to be going to NXT tomorrow night. He's going to be on SmackDown on Friday. Obviously, he's not going to just say straight up, hey, this is who I'm facing. He's not making it obvious who he's facing. Even though, I know some people aren't the biggest fan of Drew going to NXT, but, again, be honest, Drew and Finn Balor, I remember whenever, it was a couple of years ago, I did a special live stream. It was actually supposed to be with my Horseman brothers, but I do remember, I think my number one, it was called Just One More Match. If any wrestler can have one more match, who would that match be against? And I remember, and I don't know why, but I remember a dream match of mine was Edge versus Finn Balor. So I'm not opposed to that for WrestleMania, if they do that match. I'm not opposed to Roman Reigns and Edge. Well, thing is I still am hoping we get Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. That needs to be a match at WrestleMania still. I'm a little disappointed still that Bryan didn't win, but I'm fine Edge won. Or we can do Edge and McIntyre. That'd be a good one. Again, they're all three good choices. But anyways, Edge says he's the ultimate opportunist, and he'll make himself known when he's good and ready. Drew has a big target though on his back, and Sheamus keeps getting in his face, and Edge tells McIntyre, basically, obviously it was just you have a target on your back, basically implying that, hey, don't trust your friends, basically, and how you shouldn't be giving people open arms and whatnot. So, Edge tells McIntyre to know that whoever he chooses, he's walking out of WrestleMania as champion. And then Edge goes to leave, and then they made it so obvious this is going to happen. Edge leaves, McIntyre stares him down, holding up the championship. Edge's music ends, and we all know Sheamus was still in the ring. And Sheamus does the bro kick on McIntyre, turning on him. It was a couple months that, we expected this match to happen. Maybe at Mania, but now we're going to be getting it most likely at Elimination Chamber. So, so then, after commercial, Sheamus is interviewed. He's like, I am tired of being only known as Drew McIntyre's friend, and I'm not going to be your friend anymore. I want the title. And then he takes his bags from Drew Gulak and leaves. Again, like I said, a little bit like a wet fart there. Like, the chemistry between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus is excellent and off the charts. You can tell those two in real life are really great friends. But, you know, just having the... I mean, I don't know if there's more to reason besides that I don't want to be known as Drew McIntyre's best friend anymore as to why this happened. Like, it felt kind of a little anticlimactic because they made it so obvious that it was going to happen. Like, they should have, like, I don't know. Like I said, I liked whenever, even though I didn't think he should turn heel yet, and he still hasn't, of course, he's homesick. I kind of like how they gave us a little bit of like, okay, who's going to be the one to turn first? Who's truly the untrustworthy one? Is it going to be Keith Lee or is it going to be Sheamus? But to me, it felt a little bit abrupt. And then even a little bit forced. Like the emotions were just, you know, too much there. Like later on, they had a segment with Drew McIntyre being interviewed, emotional and kind of in tears, that Sheamus turned on him and threw their friendship away. But it was just like, okay, it like, to me, it didn't feel like that anticlimactic, like, heartburner. Yes, they've had some tag matches. Yes, they've had some bonds that they've shown, you know, their friendship. But to me, again, I still felt they still made it just too obvious when it was going to happen. Like, they should have, like, you know, like, caught us off guard with it a little bit more, you know what I mean? But, you know, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure the match between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus at Chamber will be good. So, we'll see where they go with it. Bobby Lashley then took on Matt Riddle again for the U.S. title, and again, it was almost the same exact match as last time. Like, why did we have to do this match again? Why did Matt Riddle even why did he even get a chance to earn another opportunity for the United States Championship? Because basically, Bobby Lashley, who was angry because, you know, he got like quadruple teamed to be eliminated in the Rumble, and of course, you know, you don't mess around with Bobby Lashley. So Lashley was pissed, and he basically just beat the crap out of Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle barely got any offense, and then he lost by DQ because they had Riddle on the ropes in the Hurt Lock for more than 5 seconds, and then Lashley continued to beat him down. Like I said, okay, again, I'll continue to say this. Compared to the Bobby Lashley we've had a year or two beforehand, since he had first came back to WWE, I like this Bobby Lashley. But like I said, like, why is him and Matt Riddle continuing? You know, like, they're just making Matt Riddle look more and more like a complete joke. And after, of course, seeing the interactions that Riddle had with guys like Daniel Bryan or Seth Rollins in the Rumble match, or even, of course, you know, if they ever bring him back, Aleister Black, who was not in the Rumble match, you know, it made me kind of want to see Riddle go back over to SmackDown. I think that was, again, I said they moved a lot of big names from SmackDown to Raw. Well, like, names that are supposed to be big, like, you know, Matt Riddle, Jeff Hardy. Matt Riddle should have stayed on SmackDown. I still think he should have stayed on SmackDown. But, yeah, so where does he go next? I don't know. He's directionalist. The problem, again, I'm still waiting for them to rebrand him and literally have him be Mr. Riddle me this. Riddle me this. Because I've heard someone say, yeah, he'll come up with like a big question mark on his hat and an arrow pointing up saying, Riddle me this. And they're probably going to, who knows, they'll kill the King of Bros gimmick. I mean, they've already ruined it. But yeah, they've already ruined, you know, the King of Bros gimmick for Matt Riddle, unfortunately. It happened. But, you know. Yeah. So anyways, so that we have that. And then we have this promo backstage with Randy Orton, which until this promo, I had no clue that the main event match that happened was happening. Orton got a promo about somehow he never thought Edge would win the Rumble on his comeback run, so he congratulates him. But that's a problem, because he told the whole world that Edge was never coming back, and yet he's here, making Orton look like a liar. So how dare you make Randy Orton look like a liar? So he's going to offer Edge no mercy, no compassion, and they're going to wrestle tonight and end this, and he's going to send Edge home permanently, and Edge is not going to main event WrestleMania, which, keep in mind, Edge still may not main event WrestleMania, because, again, several Royal Rumble winners have technically not always main evented WrestleMania. Just ask, Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, well, Becky Lynch did in 2019, of course, so there's that one. Shinsuke Nakamura did not. Asuka did not. Randy Orton did not in 2017. Triple H in 2016. Yada, 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 all that jazz. So we found out the past couple of years through certain occasions that not every Rumble winner gets the main event WrestleMania, be the last match on the show. Let me see here. So, then we have Xavier Woods versus Mustafa Ali. And again, this story here about, how, Mustafa Ali is just pissed off at Kofi Kingston for him taking away his WrestleMania moment and his momentum back in 2019. So, okay, great build, but the problem was Xavier Woods won. I mean, yes, he won because of help from Kofi Kingston, but it was just like, why should we want to see, Mustafa Ali wrestle Xavier Woods when Kofi Kingston, I'm sorry, why do we want to see him wrestle Kofi Kingston when Xavier Woods beat him? See what's kind of missing there? Again, when you have a feud that has actual story to it with Kingston and Ali, but then until Kingston was able to come back from his injury, you had just Retribution basically taking guys like Ricochet and Xavier Woods, and they'll probably do it for more guys. The best way to make them look strong is by having one person job out to them every single week. Again, that's not going to work. So you have that, and like I said, now that Ali's lost to Woods, why should we believe he has a chance to beat Kofi Kingston? So that was a strange booking there, but whatever there. And then of course we've got Miz TV with Miz and Morrison. They recap what happened with Bad Bunny at the Royal Rumble, because why are they doing this? I don't know. He wants to explain what happened, and then they find out Bad Bunny. And Bad Bunny accepts their apology. But then Miz is expecting an apology. But Bad Bunny's like, I got nothing to apologize. Bunny admits, though, it's his dream to be a superstar for WWE. And Miz invites him to sit under the learning tree, much like several other stars, like Daniel Bryan, several others. But they're also asking for Bad Bunny to help them record an album. They start singing some weird crap, but then Bunny basically goes, I'm not interested. And of course, Miz and Morrison threatened him, but Bunny says, the only reason I came here is because a good friend wanted to be on Miz TV. The lights go out, and it is the number 14 entrant from the Men's Rumble on Sunday night, who I thought had a really good performance with 4 eliminations, actually tied with, I think, Strowman and shoot, who else? It was a 4-way tie, because I know Edge had 3. Shoot, who was it out? Strowman? Someone else? Whoever it was. And Damian Priest, who came out, and trust me, at New Year's Eve a month ago, whenever I saw that it shortened Damian Priest's entrance, it didn't have, it just had just a, and then the lights come on, and he turns around, bow and arrow, boom. They're no longer doing what they did with having the lights come on then the lights go out he's appearing at different spots, which I thought was a very cool entrance. Nope, they cut that. As soon, again, I had heard the rumors for a while that Priest was looking to be called up. As soon as I saw at New Year's Eve that they shortened the entrance, I'm like, yeah, he's going to the main roster. Why? Because Damien, you look like a superstar, but that entrance, too long. Gotta cut something out. So, I knew that was happening. So, Priest came out, he shakes hands with Bad Bunny, and he attacks Miz and Morrison, and then he has a match with The Miz, and he wins this debut match. Cool, but of course, even though they've already, turned Miz into a chump, you have Mr. Money in the Bank jobbing out to, a star, even though, again, Damian Priest is no jobber. Again, he is a freaking future world champion because he is freaking awesome. But still, obviously, the person you use to put over a debuting guy in the main roster is Mr. Money in the Bank. But, So, yeah, but Damian Priest won, so it's cool to have him on Raw. We'll see what he does on Raw. I thought he was going to go to SmackDown, but it looks like he's going to be on Raw. Someone else, of course, which I'll talk about her when we get to some women's stuff. The number one contenders match for the women. I'll get to that. But someone else who I'm thinking might be going to SmackDown, which I'm not too sure about that, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Hurt Business then have a match with Lucha House Party, and they retain the Raw tag titles. It seemed that Hurt Business is getting back on the same page, which I hope is the case. Because again, them breaking up right now would just be absolutely stupid, as I still think. We also have a backstage segment with Charlotte Flair and Asuka. And Charlotte's like, Lacey may think she's learning how to play dirty, but she knows what will happen if she steps in the ring with her. And she feels bad for letting Asuka down last night. And Asuka says she's not happy they lost, but it wasn't for Charlotte's father and the woman and Lacey Evans, they would have won. And then we also get an interview from Lana and Naomi, where Lana says she's back and coming for the tag titles. Naomi knows what it's like to be on the sidelines, but together they're going to make Nia and Shayna feel all the glow. We have a triple threat women's tag team match for number one contendership for Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax women's tag titles. Question, why? Okay, at one point rematches were fine, but now here, why is Asuka and Charlotte having to earn their rematch? Didn't make sense, but the match happens. All I cared about that all I can remember that happened in this match, to be honest, was Ric Flair and Lacey Evans came out distracting, and Charlotte got all ticked off. She just got up and walked out for no reason. So, I'm guessing, I don't know if they're going to actually, because it's probably going to lead to a match between Asuka and Charlotte, because, how dare you walk out on me? But, I could see them either just having a match between Asuka and Charlotte, where Charlotte wins, and then she defends the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania against Lacey Evans. Dear Lord God, no, that's not what I want to see. I'll tell you what I would want to see, but we'll get to that, of course, in a second. I actually, but then, like I said, I could just see them just go, pretending that Asuka and Charlotte as a tag team never happened, which again, I don't even get why it even did happen to begin with, because again, it's made no sense to me, because literally these two have had a history and they're rivals, so why would they be okay with being a tag team together? And also again, why is Lana and Naomi as a random tag team? I get it, Lana has a history with Nia Jax, but once again, it's not going to be believable when Lana wins the tag titles. And also, you had Naomi pin the Raw Women's Champion. So, are we going to see a match with Shayna and Nia versus Naomi and Lana? And then Naomi gets a shot at Asuka's Raw Tag Team. Raw Women's Championship, maybe? Which could be a good match. That's pretty fresh. I don't think we've seen Asuka and Naomi have a match yet, but it's just whatever. Like I said, those women's tag titles, again, they're just whatever to me at this point. Of course, it would be nice, though, as I keep saying, for the winner of the NXT's Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, though, to win the women's titles. Because, again, we have not yet seen the women's titles actually, be won by NXT superstars. They've had a couple challenges, but we haven't actually seen them win them. But we'll see. But we're going to get that match probably at Chamber for the women's tag titles, probably on the pre-show match. So that happened. Um, then we also had another tag match. It was a nice little treat. Well, not quite, because it was Elias and Jackson Riker taking on a team of Jeff Hardy and Carlito. A nice little treat. Again, I don't think Carlito is back for good. If he is back for good, though, cool. But I don't know. I still don't see it. But we have Carlito and Jeff Hardy teamed up, which is a nice little treat. I continue to say this, though, again. Why are Jeff Hardy and Elias still fighting? Again, it's making Elias look more and more and more and more stupid, because we all know for a fact that it was not Jeff Hardy who had ran over Elias last summer. It wasn't. It was not him, Elias. Get over it and move on. Jeff Hardy whooped you with a guitar several times in the Symphony of Destruction match. Again, it's over. But just to see Carlito have another match was fine. They would get the victory as Carlito hit a backstabber, and then Jeff Hardy hit the Swanton Bomb onto Elias to win the match. Hopefully, again, we can just move on from this. We also have Edge cutting a promo about how Orton is a black cloud hanging over his head and criticizing him for ducking out of the Rumble injured last night, and says he has to beat him tonight so he can get him out from under him and go to WrestleMania to win back a title that he never lost. Alexa Bliss will then have a match. First, before that, we actually also had Edge walking around backstage, where he runs into Damian Priest, and he puts him over, basically saying good job, and shakes his hand, which was a nice little thing there to put over, a new star. And again, I'm looking forward to seeing what Damian Priest does on the main roster for sure. And again, hopefully he gets some really good momentum. Maybe feud for the United States Championship. Championship or something like that, maybe. Who knows? We do see Damian Priest as world champion. But that was a nice little endorsement from Edge. Anyways, so Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross had a match. I won't talk about it here. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. Speaking of I mentioned, of course, possibilities for WrestleMania. WrestleMania for the women's championship. Well, I'm still worried that they're going to be going forward with a match with Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair. I'm still worried that's going to happen, and it's not. I still don't want to see that. I'm very worried still that's going to happen. Anyways, but I was a little disappointed that Rhea Ripley did not show up on the show. I thought she should be on Raw. Keep her and Bianca on separate brands. I'm worried now that they're going to keep them on the same brand, which I still don't think that should be happening. I think, again, I think that both of them should be kept separate. But, again, it's nothing I can do, so we'll see what that actually does with it. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross had a match. They rekindled a rivalry. First off, also another question, I probably said this a while ago, why does Nikki Cross have new theme music? Doesn't fit her whatsoever. It's like some like rock song or something like that. It's super generic, probably just pulled off of YouTube's audio library. It does not work. But they have this match where, Nikki Cross is she's finished. She's like, what are you doing? I'm done with you. But it's at the same time, it's well, if you're done with her, why did you accept this match? So she's fighting Alexa Bliss as just Firefly Funhouse Alexa Bliss. And then Alexa Bliss turns back into just the goddess, and then she's act like it's all cool, but Nikki Cross beats the crap out of her, but then she turns back into just Firefly Funhouse Bliss, or Alexa's Playground Bliss, or I can call her, and she eventually beats Nikki Cross, as we figured she would. And as she's walking out, Randy Orton comes out, and she stares him down, because last week Randy Orton RKO'd her into the mat. And then we have Edge versus Orton, which was a good main event, and again, I actually did like that we got to see Edge actually wrestle on a weekly show, and not just on a pay-per-view, which was nice to see, especially if he won the Royal Rumble match. I'm not going to treat him like a complete part-timer. My thing though was this was the blow-off match to a personal feud. We already had Last Man Standing, then just a regular one-on-one match that, remember, was advertised as the greatest wrestling match of all time, which, once again, we've seen Edge and Orton how many times. That was not, again, it was a great match, but it was not the greatest match of all time, for crying out loud. So it's weird again that, Edge again is in the midst of a feud with Bray Wyatt, which I think is another reason when I do talk about, the last thing, of course, I want to talk about was the stuff with the stuff with The Fiend and Randy Orton. But, when you have some unfinished business, very personal unfinished business between Edge and Orton, and again, originally, if Edge did not get hurt, their blow-off match was going to be an I Quit match at SummerSlam. Which, okay, would have been interesting, but again, here's my thing though. How do you still do just a regular one-on-one, 10-15 minute match on Raw to blow off this feud? It felt super backwards, if you know what I mean. Still a good main event. The match though ends when Alexa Bliss appears sitting on the ring post, and some weird black gooey stuff just starts coming out of her mouth as she just stares down Randy Orton. And off the distraction, Edge spears Orton, and of course Edge gets to win and ending this feud with him and Randy Orton. So obviously Randy Orton still. Edge is moving on now, of course, and focusing on WrestleMania. Fine, even though, like I said again, they probably could have done some type of a stipulation, or at least made this a longer match. Felt like it was a blow-off match, not just a regular match on Raw, a solid match on Raw in the main event. But let's be honest about the stuff with The Fiend, Randy Orton, and Alexa Bliss. It's starting to drag. I mean, I think the stuff they're doing with Alexa Bliss, is definitely, reignite her career, giving her a little bit of a different direction to do, which I'm fine with. But it's just starting to get super duper repetitive. It's we get it. She's creepy. She has different personalities. She can be, one moment she can be, just bubbly Firefly Funhouse Bliss, or she could be Goddess Alexa Bliss, or Lexi Quinn Alexa Bliss, or whatever you want to call her. But I think the problem I'm having is the fact that I felt that The Fiend should have been back by now. The Fiend should have came back at the Royal Rumble. The fact that he didn't, though, it's starting to feel like this is getting a little too long. If the goal is to get to WrestleMania and have a Firefly Funhouse match with, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton, it's starting to drag. It's really starting to drag. So, because of that, I'm not sure how they can really drag this out any longer. How they can continue this feud without feeling like it's going to be dragging out. Because now it's just getting very repetitive. We get it. Alexa Bliss is creepy. She's dangerous. She throws fireballs at Randy Orton. Randy Orton set The Fiend on fire. But again, my thing is again, how are we going to continue this without it getting more and more repetitive? That's the part that worries me a little bit. But it's how the show ends. Again, that's Raw. I'll check your stuff in the live chat in a second. I gave it a C+. A little generous on that C+ there, because most of the stuff just was what it was. Some stuff I really questioned. Some stuff was fine. It was a average to decent show. I gave it a C+. Let me see what we got in the live chat here. Edge and Drew should be. We already read that. What is it with wrestling companies wanting celebrities to get physical? Why can't they just leave it to the professional? Right, I agree. We got Joe Trumpet. He said, "Yo, what I miss?" It looks like from the comments, he doesn't really watch wrestling anymore. I'm not sure. If you have, I apologize. I wouldn't mind seeing those matches either, but I feel like Edge versus Roman would be the real moneymaker. It would be, yes. Like I said, though, maybe not yet. Because, again, if we can get Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, accomplished, then I'd be cool. But because we haven't yet, I'd still rather see Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan first. I feel like this WrestleMania season is the last chance for Roman and Bryan, because Bryan's contract is expiring this year. And I know he's probably starting to either think about heading out the door or at least going part-time. So like I said, I think they still, this year, still do Bryan and Reigns. And then if they want to do, Reigns and Edge at, SummerSlam or something like that, go for it. But, or even if Edge was champion going to Survivor Series to champion versus champion. I don't know. Something. Joe says, we all knew it was going to be Sheamus and Drew. Mark saying he's not saying he wants to see this match, but I'm surprised John Cena never came up as a possible opponent for Roman at Mania. We've already seen it, though. I mean, yes, the dynamics are more correct, so maybe, but not sure if I want to see another one between them, but maybe. Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle sounds stupid, and who is Jeff Hardy back? And Edge won the Rumble as well, and he's laughing about it. Okay. Did you hear about Lars? I did hear about Lars. I'll try to do a video about him sometime this week as well. Will they please stop this thing between Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton and bring back the Fiend already? Yeah, like I said, that's how I feel right now. Again, it's like there's no more mileage to this feud until they actually bring back the Fiend. I do agree with that. If Rhea on SmackDown, have her feud with Bayley or Carmella, just keep her away from the title picture for a while. Again, I agree. I still think she should fight Asuka at WrestleMania. Or, again, if Charlotte wins the title somehow, have her and Charlotte feud and have the match they were supposed to have in front of actual fans at WrestleMania that they didn't get to have last year. Because, again, it's going to be 10 to 15,000 this year at WrestleMania. So, give her the match, give her, her shot in front of actual fans like she was supposed to have last year, and we'll be cool. But again, I think she should have gone to Raw. I don't think I felt her and Bianca should have been kept far away from each other for the time being, because obviously both of them are future stars, the future of the main roster. And Mark gave it a C. But yeah, that's going to do it, guys. That's my review of Raw. Again, I'm going to be recording a quick, well, not really quick, but a special video tonight talking about a topic for a possible opponents for a certain someone at WrestleMania. And that will be coming, within the next hour or two, I would say, before I go to bed. And, yeah, I'm very interested to see what your thoughts would be on this topic as well. So guys, again, I gave Raw a C+. One of the better shows we've had for a while, but again, not saying much. And again, just be sure to stay tuned for more special live streams coming, as that's what I'm going to be mainly focusing on for the next couple of weeks until I get some other stuff caught up. And then hopefully, within a month or so, I'll be back to doing video game Let's Plays and resuming my Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince PC gameplay. And once again, also make sure to check out my NXT TakeOver 33 card predictions, and make sure, if you want to, check out my stuff involved in the Royal Rumble from this past weekend. So guys, C+ for Raw. What are your thoughts on Raw? Please leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. And be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe or comment to my channel, and follow me on Twitter at DemandArab183. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. Have a great night. I'll see you guys all later. Peace out, everybody.